Buckle up for safety.
I'm buckled.
On this episode of Gridline Go, you get to see us put...
Oh yeah, wait. Hold
On this episode of Gridline Go, you get to see us put different brakes on the front of this thing.
on, wait. I didn't like that either. I was getting ready for the headlights to pop up. I went to go pan to it.
On this episode of Gridline Go, you get to see us put some... What the f***? Hold on, wait. Time out. Let's figure out what the hell are we going to call them.
So, do you want me to start this over?
Brake upgrade. Yeah. What's up, everybody? This is JD with Gridline Go. If you haven't, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit those buttons and watch our videos. We got a new one for you today. We're going to put some bigger brakes on the 240. It's kind of sort of stockish 240. Just kind of making it a little bit better for what I'd like to use it for. Follow along, it's going to be a lot of fun. If you didn't know, it has an engine in it again, and it runs. So that's always a good thing, right? Well, now we're going to try to stop. The brakes that it had on it, if you look at them, they're little and adorable. You can do a couple different brake options on this thing, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. People usually put the Z32 brakes, front and rear, and that's just a little overkill for what I'm doing here. But there's actually something really cool. If you walk over to the other side, and take a look at this, that looks really neat, doesn't it? Well, these brake calipers came off of Japanese domestic market JDM 180SX. It was actually off a friend of mine got a clip, and these brakes, these are actually the rotors that came on it, and I ended up getting new rotors, and I'll tell you what they're off of when I put them on the car. But this is just kind of a mock-up. If you look, I'm gonna have to trim the dust shields a little bit too close to the rotor. It's touching it actually. And other than that, it all should work. Turn that over, and the brake lines, kind of hard to see here in the dark, but the brake lines are same style banjo bolt, and the calipers aren't too much bigger. The piston size is a little bit bigger, but not substantial, so I won't really notice too much of a difference in my brake bias, I hope. We shall see. We're gonna have some fun here. Plasma cutter stuff. I'm actually gonna have my good buddy Nick here film me.
Now my camera.
You're so handsome.
Just start cutting.
Here you go. Here you go, hold that.
I want to be on video.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun. Maybe I should lift it up a little bit. No, we'll just do it to it.
Just struggle, it's fine.
I will.
It's a great tool.
I know, I love it.
It's good dirt. Just throwing it off a little bit.
We'll clean it up. This just gets the big stuff off. Got it. Now we gotta make it look a little bit prettier. That is raunchy.
Looks good for my house.
I know, right?
Brand new broken.
Brand new broken.
Here comes the time lapse.
We can time lapse. You want to time lapse it? What do you think? We time lapse it?
Should we just do it?
We're gonna just kind of clean it up a little bit. It's fine. It's brand new broken right there. Look at that. All right. Well, there it is. Why is that welding mask still on? All right. Cool. Better. Okay. So there it is. It's not perfect, but it works, and I like it. So we're gonna get some new rotors on there and see how they line up. And hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we'll be in business. All right, so I got the rotor mocked up. It's kind of dirty, but don't worry about that. And then I even bent the heat shield out. Or not heat shield, sorry, I keep calling it heat shield. Dust shield, bent that out a little bit. And hopefully that grabs a little air, helps the thing cool down. And fit nicely. It's not perfect, it's not pretty, but it works. So we're gonna get those calipers mounted next. Still just step by step. I wanted to show you guys the differences. Okay, so this is what came off of it. And this is what all the USDM S13 240SXs had in the front. Now these are just the caliper brackets, not the actual calipers. See that? This right here. That is the caliper itself. It's caliper bracket, but if you look, there's actually a substantial difference. Pad size is huge compared to the other ones. So, funny thing is, in Japan, this style would come on these cars in S13 when it did not have a turbo engine. I actually learned that from the guy that gave me these really cool brakes. A friend of mine hooked me up on that. Shout out, Brandon Patterson. He's the man. So these, I don't even know where to tell you guys to get them or how to get them or what, but I just got lucky because he had them, this style, and I have another one over there too for the other side. But the pad size is substantially different, and I wanted to show you guys actually visually. If you look at this, this is the size of the pads that came off it. Yes, they are actually pretty worn out. I need to replace them. And then this is the size of the pads that I'm putting on it. So as you can see, pretty substantial. Again, I'm not going crazy. I'm not doing the Z32, not like race car stuff, but just better street stuff. And should work out quite nicely. And don't worry about all the nastiness on the rotor. I'll clean that up before I'm done. This is still kind of mocking up stuff. Brake pads in, good. Caliper, clean it up a little bit. It's a little nasty-ish, kind of. Just goes on like really hard to do one-handed, like so. And that's frozen, so I'm gonna have to deal with that. That should slide nice and easy. They move really nicely. We're gonna get the brake caliper. See, is that the good one? Oh, yeah, really ugly. I'll clean it up, but just to show you guys, it goes on there like so. And then it's got some little screws that go in there. If it decides to actually work, it's got some little screws that go in there that hold it. But that is basically what we're looking at. Which, if I were to walk to the other side, how substantial of a difference that is. It's actually pretty big. It's just 1 inch bigger on the rotor, and the pads are, you saw the pad difference. So I'm excited for it. We'll see how it helps. So I got it bolted up, and one thing I wanted to share with you is you got to keep an eye on location of the bleeder. Now the left would fit on the right and the right would fit on the left, but you want to have this bleeder at the highest location so that when you are bleeding it, the air can leave the system. If it's down on the bottom, fluid will pour out and no air will leave, so it makes it pointless. So that's something that I wanted to address, let you guys know. That's a thing, don't forget it. Something I wanted to point out on the other side, but I forgot. So here it is. This setup here, if you can see, focus. If you can see the way that the pads are sitting in there, the pads are actually where they should be, and I can thank these JDM brake caliper brackets for that, because the brake pads and the rotors came from a 1998 Nissan Altima. That's how I get the 4 lugs and the larger diameter. And if you tried to do this using the brake calipers from an Altima, the brake pads would actually stick up quite a bit. So this is actually really nice that they're sitting where they should be and have maximum contact. So almost done with this. I'll get it all together and then bleed it, and we'll go for a little ride. All right, so we got the brakes done, and we're gonna go for a little test drive here, see how it stops, and see what it does here. Oh, it goes. It actually goes, which is kind of cool. It didn't go before. Now there's a motor in it, so it runs, which is nice. Bigger, and hopefully it can dissipate the heat. That's good. That's good. I couldn't do that before. So now we get some tires that actually have traction, unlike these completely bald, really crappy tires. And this should be a lot better. So I say mission success. We're doing good, and it stops and goes. I'll get that clutch figured out here soon. Signing out. See you guys. Till next time.